Greetings humans, this is Aramis from Arrtx, and I finally got my hands on some jelly gouache. I've never tried gouache before, so this video is me trying gouache for the very first time. This is the 18C set. Yes, I know there was A and B before it, but this one was on sale, so obviously I went with this one. So let's open it up. I really like how the case feels. It's nice and solid. So yeah, some doodle art, thank you card, color swatch, and then the paints themselves. Oh boy, I can already tell this is gonna be a struggle. They actually look bigger when I see other people unboxing them on YouTube, but let me take off all the covers and then we'll get to testing them out with some tutorials. So I finished peeling off all the plastics. I didn't uncap this one because even though there's supposed to be two different whites, titanium white and a mixing white, for my purposes they're going to serve the same purpose, so I decided it was probably best to just leave this one closed. I can always open it later if I want. I also did a swatch while I was taking them out, and I noticed the binder was separating from most of the colors, especially these lighter colors, so I took a toothpick and just mixed them all up. As for the color selection, going off this picture, I was kind of worried that it was going to be a lot of colors that I wouldn't want to use, especially because this is set C and not set A or B. I figured, okay, is this going to be like extra colors that I would have wanted had I gotten the A or B set? But I actually really like the color selection. I think it's a pretty nice range, except for this one green. I don't really like this green, but overall, purple, you know, warm and cool. Three blues, I love extra blues. Yellow ochre, warm and cool yellows, purple, the black, the two whites. I can't really complain much about the color selection, because these are the colors I use mainly when I'm doing my watercolors. So now that it's all set up, it's time to get working on the first tutorial, because I've never used gouache before and I need some help. So it's actually a few days later, and all the paint on the palette has completely dried, and some of the pieces have just come off, so there's that. So far, I think it's still in the sort of ugly phase, so I'm just gonna try to work with it. I have the palette here, paint, everything is set up, so let's just get back into it. I'm also going to be trying out a few different illustrations, and we'll see how they're all come out, because I realize that I'm having a problem because I'm so used to painting with watercolors that I have to remind myself to mix white to get lighter colors, not just water it down. But we'll see. I'm still gonna keep going, and let's finish this one up. This is the finished piece. It's fine for a first attempt, but I think I've just been using watercolors so much that it's kind of hard to adjust. This was done almost a full year ago, and I was just doing like a redo of this. So you can tell me which one you prefer. I kind of prefer this one. But it's fine. First attempt down. Let's get on to the second attempt. Something I'm noticing about gouache is that the water gets super dirty super fast, and I'm not used to that, because with watercolor, especially if you're using more high-end watercolor, the water, it takes a while for it to get dirty, and sometimes I would only use like 1 cup of water. But then I'm also not somebody who is worried about mixing my paints together, because I'm probably gonna mix them anyway, so having them mix in the palette doesn't really bother me. Like even yellows, I don't mind if my yellow gets messy, just in general. But yep, this, and then I'm noticing that the gouache sometimes when it starts drying, at least with this gouache, I don't know about gouache in general, you start to see like blank spots in the paper. And I remember when I was like 12 and doing acrylic painting and oil painting, that would happen on the canvas, but with watercolor that's not a problem. It's just kind of weird. Now, let me go change the water and let this dry a little bit more before I go in with some other details. So I think I'm gonna abandon this one. I'm probably going to definitely have to look for a tutorial to painting landscapes, because I can't paint landscapes or draw landscapes. I'm just really bad at landscapes. But I really do like how the pink and yellow blended up there. I am going to... The edges are dry. It's mainly these details that I added in once I started giving up on this drawing that was still wet. So I'll just put this to the side and start another one. One of the things I like about having just so much gouache to write out right now is that I don't feel as precious with it, which is one of the reasons why I don't even like to work from tube watercolors. I always feel like I have to be precious, even though they're very easily reactivated. Just a little spritz of water and you're good to go again. But yeah, that's one of the barriers why I never tried gouache, because then I had to get a palette and squeeze it out with the tubes and stuff. I'd rather just have them lying there. So I'll show you all that I do at the end. So right now I'm just gonna put this to the side for it to dry, and then I'll start on the next one, which is this one of my character Olivia. Liv. I love her. She is amazing. And I really can't wait to paint her. So let's start on the third one. Briefly ran out of storage and I had to go juggle some files on a thumb drive and my laptop and my phone, but now that's all sorted out. Let's get back into the painting, and right off the bat I can say one thing, completely honest, that I love about the gouache is that because it's opaque, I had already started painting the jacket. If this was watercolor, this would be a huge problem because I would not be able to layer it on smoothly once it dries, but because it's opaque, I can just simply paint over it, and I really like that. So yeah, that's one of the things I like about gouache so far. There was another thing, but I forgot. I do like how this one is coming out, though. This one, I think I'm finally getting a feel for how gouache works. Because the first picture, I was really struggling. So let me continue painting this, and we'll talk when I'm done. This is the third painting done. I didn't go with any line work this time because I just wanted to try it without. I do like how it came out though. It looks pretty good. I think I'm finally getting the hang of how gouache feels to use, and I like it. But I think the problem I'm having is that I'm going right in with the gouache, a thick layer, and I really need to do a base painting and underpainting. But I also just really wanted to use the thick paint. Like, the paint just feels so nice. I also think I like how it feels to mix the paint on the paper more than in the palette. I feel like I waste too much paint, even though I've done 3 drawings and the only thing that's suffering is the white. Honestly though, I probably might talk more about this if I remember to talk more about this at the end, but these are Chinese made paints for the Chinese market for students. So it's supposed to be quick drying, which I really like, and it's also you're not really supposed to water it down and mix it like how you would do with Western paints, or at least so I've heard. That's what I've heard. So I do see why people would just want a whole lot of convenience colors to just go right in with the painting. Yeah, that would be fun. Maybe one day I'll have the money to buy the 54 set. That'd be really cool. But for now, I am just going to do the final painting for today. Because I'm doing all of these, apart from the beginning of the first painting, the rest are all being done in an afternoon just because I'm in the mood to paint. And this one is not going to have any sketch because I haven't done any realism, like from life, in a really long time. So what I'm going to do is just paint. I have this orange. These things are sour like lime. But I have this orange, and I have a red cup, and I am going to try to paint it. We'll see how it comes out. I'm doing so much experimentation with these paints, and I think that's what I really like about just having all the paints laid out like this, is that it's just really nice to just dip in with the paint. And I just have this spray bottle of water here, and after every painting I just spray the top so they don't dry out, and on the days I don't paint, every few days I'll just spray them. I heard that keeps them wet, and so far I haven't had any problems, and I've had them for about 2.5 months now. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm gonna try to do an underpainting this time, and we'll just see how it works. And that's it. There's the underpainting. Yeah, this is as detailed as I'm going to get for the underpainting, because I really just want to get into the actual painting. So it's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. Finished now, all 4 of them. We have the first one, the second one, third one, and the absolute fail of a 4th one. Yeah, I kind of gave up just halfway through and started mixing colors into the orange. It doesn't even look the right shape. But whatever, I was just messing around with the colors and making a mess on my palette. Overall, I did enjoy using it a lot more than I thought I would. Like I said, when I started the first drawing, I had to get out of the watercolor mindset and start using more white and stuff. And then I like how the gradation of the sky came, but then I gave up in the sand because it was supposed to be a desert. I tried to do a lineless style with Olivia. I love her. This one came out pretty good as well. I was just having fun doing this one. I should have gone with like a gradient in the background, but oh well. I'm just going to be sticking this into my sketchbook, the one I'm using right now. And then there's this fail. Honestly, I do think I need to start putting more effort into studying realism, just because, you know, kind of base your fiction of realism. And I definitely need to work on landscapes because I want to start doing some more digital painting and stuff, and I think my lack of knowledge with color is really starting to hold me back now, because I started drawing seriously about 3 years ago. No, I started drawing 3 years ago, and I started taking it seriously about 2 years ago. And for most of that time, it was just black and white or just line art. I didn't color anything. So I think I'm good with with not being afraid to go dark in the shadows, but my colors are just off. So I'm hoping that playing around with these gouache paints, and I am going to have to do some tutorials, but I'm hoping that I can start getting more comfortable with using color. I did all these paintings and it hardly looks like I used any of the paint except for the white. I'm definitely going to have to buy some more white. But who is surprised by that I'm gonna have to get white? Some of the colors ended up mixing, but I don't care. Like this, I'm not doing anything professional. I'm just playing around in my sketchbook or on loose sheets of paper that I'm going to stick into my sketchbook. I also really like how flat the colors is, how there's no shine. That's one of the things I hate about graphite and colored pencil, is that it's just so shiny. So I like watercolor, and now I think I really like gouache. I really want to start using it a bit more and have some more fun with it. Well, thanks for watching me try out a new medium, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in another video. I've been really doing a lot of experimentations right now, and these two are original characters, not from any story that's out, but I do have characters from stories that I'm currently publishing on Royal Road and Scribble Hub. Links in the description. I'll also link my Amazon page for where you can get my novels. And I'm working on getting out another pirate trilogy this year. The first 2 books are written. Now for the final editing phase for book 1 and 2, so I could start writing book 3. And I have a lot more planned, so if you're interested, you can check them out. And you can follow me on Instagram, because I post pieces that I do in my sketchbook or that I just don't make videos on. Post them to my Instagram. I think that's it. So I'll see you in another video. Later.